opened last July, the bike lane along Central Parkway in Cincinnati has been a cause of friction between business owners and city officials.
As we've reported, it's not an issue of people being anti-bike. It's an issue of how this particular lane was configured. Now, some Cincinnati council members think that it should be changed immediately, and that could be expensive for taxpayers. Local 12's Rich Jaffe joins us now from Central Parkway with a story you will see only on Local 12. Hi, Rich.
Hi, Brad. This bike lane is different from every other bike lane in the city of Cincinnati, and that's because the curb lane is actually the bike lane. Then you've got a buffer, and then right next to that you have what is now a through traffic lane that is sometimes a parking lane. That makes all this not just confusing, but dangerous. Stopping for just a few minutes, it's easy to see the threat to drivers and cyclists from cars along Central Parkway. In certain stretches, people driving in the curb lane are suddenly confronted with a bike lane on their right and cars parked in front of them, causing drivers to swerve. On Tuesday, the owners of Robin Imaging talked with Council's Transportation Committee about the problems right in front of their business.
If I could do it my way, I would put the cars by the curb where they belong, then have a bike lane, and then traffic.
Avid cyclists, between them, Bill Johnson and his wife have logged more than 83,000 miles on bicycles. They're not anti-bike, just anti-bike lane design. Last fall, parked illegally, Deb Johnson's SUV was totaled by a hit-and-run driver.
I'm scared to death to park out there anymore, and our customers, it's legal to park there, but what do we do in the meantime? I'm afraid somebody's going to get killed.
Committee Chair Amy Murray.
For me, this is really, really worrisome for bicyclists, and then for cars that are parked along the way. We're hurting our businesses, I think, because people don't expect that to be a place where cars stop. So, I personally would like to see, if we looked at it and put it back to the way that they have it on Riverside and on Delta Avenue, I just think that's much safer.
The markers here are called bollards. So far, 500 have been installed, and according to Transportation and Engineering Chief Michael Moore, 300 of them have been knocked down. They cost $50 apiece. Originally glued down, they're now being bolted to the pavement. The lane was funded by a $500,000 federal grant. Repairs or changes will undoubtedly be paid for with local tax dollars. The lane is also too narrow for snowplows. Councilman Wendell Young suggested the city use bobcats with plows, but there's no money for that. Concerned, committee members promised to keep an eye on the issues and complaints and try to find a safe solution.
There was no consensus on what needed to be done, but there was kind of a unanimous consensus that something needed to be done.
Now, council members were particularly concerned about the immediate area right here in front of Robin Imaging. They directed city administration to start taking a serious look at this area and to see if there's something they can do right now to minimize the risk. No time was set for when they expect answers on the other issues, but you can be sure that it's now on City Council's radar screen. In over the Rhine, Rich Jaffe, Local 12 News. Brad?
And Rich, will a study have to be done to come up with a dollar figure on what it's going to cost to fix it?
Well, if you know anything about the way the city works, yeah, you can bet that somebody's going to come up with a study. But the bottom line is they have to try and figure out how to do that, and then they'll have to figure out who's going to pay for it. And I'll bet it's going to be tax dollars.
All right, Rich, thanks very much. According to the head of the city's police traffic unit, both car-bicycle collisions and vehicle collisions are up in the Central Parkway area since that bike lane opened. The head of Transportation and Engineering says it could be because there was less reporting in 2013 due to a mandatory cutback.